Here we are at Haydock Park for the broadcast photo video show, and Sony have given us a loan of the new NX70, which is a fantastic camera. Scott has actually got it there, and it looks the business, and let's hope it records the business as well, because this is my opening piece to camera. Jonathan, I came by the stand earlier on and I noticed this interesting wee pin mic. Do you want to tell me about it?
Absolutely, yeah. This is the new pin mic from Rode. The idea is that section and the cable goes up through your shirt. 3 pins then pop through your material, not doing any damage. And then the capsule simply pops on top onto 3 pins, leaving a very discreet hidden mic, suitable for interviews or stage use.
So here we have the new NX70. Now this is the big brother to the MC50. Basically this is going to sell tons this year. I'm telling you, when this appears, this will be the camera to buy. Full XLR inputs, a proper rocker switch we've got now. The actual card slot is now in the back of the camera instead of being underneath. The battery compartment is actually in here, which makes a complete load of sense. We just open it up. There we go. Now it can take. Somebody asked me, does it take the bigger battery? Well, the answer to that is yes, it does. The other thing it's got this lovely touchscreen menu, and you can adjust your audio. And when I say adjust your audio, you've obviously got your adjustments here, but if you want to change it to say 32 to 48, you can do that in here. The other nice feature about this camera is it's got an iris, a proper iris, which means when you move that, it smoothly opens up and closes, which is fantastic. So one thing about the MC50 was that you had this wee knob down here, and every time you turned it, it steps up and down, which isn't clever. But I will obviously do a full review of this camera when I get one, but Sony have given me this for, I hope, about couple of hours, so I'll get some shots with it. I can't really shoot it, although this shoots in 1080 50p, which is amazing. I can't show you that because Final Cut doesn't edit 1080 50p, and that's all I've got to edit with. So apologies for that. Hopefully the new Final Cut 10 will do 1080 50p. I'll do some 1080 50p and I can edit it later. But so that's a wee first look at the new Sony NX70. So Alistair, how did it go this morning? You looked as if you were packed out.
Yeah, it was quite a busy session, and lots of really interesting questions as well. A couple of people not really understanding the relationship between the focal length of the lens and the field of view. That one comes up a lot. And also sort of talking about how S-Log works and bit rates and things. So yeah, it was really good, a bit of a two-way discussion going on, which is really nice, because then I know from the session what they want, what the people want to learn. I mean, I could just go through all my slides and talk, but it's much better when I get that feedback. So it was a really good session, and I thought it went really well. Yeah. Ask it then, because it's more than likely that you're not the only one that's thinking that same question, and we can spend a bit more time on it. I've got 100 odd slides in this presentation. I am not going to be able to show you all of them. I've got about an hour and a half, but I'd rather show you or talk about and discuss the stuff that you're interested in.
So tell me, what do you think of the F3 now you've had a wee look at it?
Excellent.
Is it something you might be considering yourself?
Yeah, definitely.
Have any questions? Let's go.
It's beautiful.
I've got Logan from Audio Technica, and it's an interesting mic we've got here. Tell us about it, Logan.
This is the AT 2022. It's a stereo style microphone with 2 cardioid condenser elements. They can be set up in an XY pattern at 90 degrees, and they can also fold out for an extra wide setting, and great for reporter microphones in a interview situation like this. It's got a bass roll-off as well to stop any rumbling if you don't need that. It runs from its own battery power, so it doesn't pull any extra power from your camera, and it goes straight into a mini jack connection for consumer camcorders.
It's amazing. They call me the Meccano man. Let's then add an offset rig for you. So if you can take hold of that for me, thank you very much. I'll release this. We can then change this from a video rig into a DSLR offset rig. Pop that inside there. And if I undo that there and just let it fall, there you go. Feel that? Great. Now you can adjust the grips. These grips here, they've got a ball and socket, yeah? So you can move that in and out, but you can also extend this grip as well. So if you twist the grip there, you can extend it down and back up again.
And how much would this rig be?
Larry, something that's close to me because my grandmother was blind and I actually employed a chap for 5 years doing interviews. Blind people tend to get overlooked when it comes to work, especially in the media.
That's one of the main issues that we're trying to address in terms of the Sports Legacy initiative that we're getting involved with now. Using sport to get kids active also gets their brain active as well as being physically active, gives them confidence in themselves and to have more social interaction, which then when they come to making work choices and life choices, they've got the opportunity to actually go for an interview and to actually secure a job and have the confidence to do that. And at the moment, because of the mainstreaming of kids in school, they have little opportunity to get into sport and activity. And as a consequence, they're not getting to the point where they can get a job. One of the terrible stats that we have is that 80% of blind and visually impaired working age people in this country don't have a job.
So Mike, I've actually seen you on the television. What were you doing?
We were involved and still involved in land speed records for blind people. And we've been doing this sort of work now for about 8 years. And we're striving to become the first blind person on a company to take a car over 200 miles an hour.
Now tell me, I know it must be exhilarating, but does somebody, I presume somebody somewhere sort of says right, left, or...
We have a radio link with a chase vehicle, and I get navigation information over the radio link.
How does it feel to go at that speed? That must be amazing.
It is amazing, and I feel privileged to drive some of the cars I've driven and driving cars at F1 speed.
John, the last time I spoke to you was BVE.
Yes.
This is now the Northern show. How's it gone?
The last few months have been slowly improving. The industry's sort of starting to pick up again over Christmas and just before Christmas. The way the economy was quite slow, but we're definitely pulling out of that now, and things look on the up.
And how's the show going for you?
Yeah, quite a few inquiries on some of our newer products, some of our RS range of tripods. Yeah, very well, very good.
What brings you down to Haydock?
I don't know really. No, we had an exec meeting local here yesterday, and so we tied the two things together. We didn't come do the show last year, but a couple of local members came down and said it was probably worth us to come along and see what it's all about. So here to meet existing members, maybe sign up a few, show our face up north.
So there you have it. That's the BPV North video show from Haydock. It's been not a bad show. In fact, there's been a lot of good exhibitors here. And Sony has brought down, as they said they would, the two new cameras, the FS100 and the NX70. We've actually had a play with the NX70 and fantastic.